Hey guys, you are watching the Vent episode 4, long awaited. A lot of things have been going on in life. Hadn't kept up with the video blog like I wanted to, but I'm here now and I'm ready to tell you about phase 2 of rehab and a lot of the shenanigans that went on during all of that. So where I left off was going into phase 2 after phase 1, and I was living at home for a couple weeks and then went back to inpatient rehab. And phase 2 was a really cool experience. My roommate was, I think, maybe 2 years younger than me, a year younger than me. So and we also had other friends that were around our same age that had broken their necks all at the same time. So it was actually kind of like going to cripple college. It was for what would normally be a kind of dark experience, I guess, going through rehab. It was a really fun spin on it. Now a little bit about my roommate. I lucked out and got this guy. His name is Lee. Shout out to Lee if you're watching this. Lee was one of the funniest guys I could have as a roommate, because him and I, we just hit off the same sense of humor about our situation as soon as we met each other. And you know, we lived, it was like 4 or 5 months with just a curtain in between our beds. And so, you know, we'd rip on each other with some jokes and whatnot throughout all the days. And it's funny because you don't really think about it, but since we're quadriplegics and we're paralyzed, I'm paralyzed from like right here down. All the muscles on the side of your lungs, they're also paralyzed. So Lee would rip a joke on me, and I would rip one back, and he would be silent. And so I would get a little worried, like, oh man, maybe I went too far, maybe I crossed the line. And I would have to open the curtain, and I would see Lee just locked in one of those kind of laughs. Like, he couldn't breathe, but he couldn't stop laughing. And it was reassuring that I didn't go too far on the joke line, but it was pretty damn hilarious to see him with tears coming out of his eyes, and being able to make a joke with someone who's in the same situation as you are, and not get offended. It's a pretty cool experience. So in phase 2, they generally get you ready for independent living, to go home living by yourself. And that includes taking care of your bowel and bladder. And if you didn't know, whenever you become paralyzed, most everyone with a spinal cord injury I know, you lose your normal bodily functions of your bowel and bladder. So that means you have to do a bowel program on schedule, which is usually consists of sitting in the bathroom, maybe a suppository for roughly an hour, and it cleans out your bowels. And that you can do on any schedule. A lot of people are different on how many times a week they do that. And then when it comes to the bladder, you drain your bladder every 4 to 6 hours or as needed. And a lot of people are different with this, because some people can feel when they need to pee, and others can't, so they just do it based on time. Me, I actually get dysreflexic, so that's when I know I need to cath and clear my bladder out. So being that we're newly injured and can't really control these bowel and bladder functions, they stick us all in what are called briefs, or depends, or actually just big old adult diapers. And so, like I said earlier, you've got a bunch of we were young, but we're still kind of grown-ass men, and we're living this life, trying to get used to these physical obstacles that we have to overcome. And then we've got the psychological obstacle that I'm a grown-ass man wearing a diaper right now. And I can look back on it and think of how embarrassing, or I can look back on it and just laugh, because those diaper and blow and bladder learning situations, they're embarrassing as hell in the moment, but they are funny as shit to look back on. Another funny story about these briefs was with me personally. And this was, it was phase 2, obviously, it's where I'm still rolling with. But it was a morning, and I was getting back in my chair from doing some occupational therapy, I believe, and I had my therapist there. She was there helping me to transfer using a sliding board from the bed into my wheelchair. And, so I'm kind of doing some weird this and that business, got my arms out trying to create balance. She kind of leans forward and locks in at she put one hand at the back of my hips and then one on the knees so that she can help put some leverage and push my body over. And it was at this time that I was maybe halfway across the board that I hear a and I'm thinking, what the hell was that? What did I just rip? I thought maybe I tore something while I was transferring over. But I looked down to find my first return of blood flow to my gentleman, and had experienced one of the first erections since being paralyzed, thus ripping through the tabs of the brief that were on the sides and tearing this diaper brief off while sitting on the middle of a board with basketball shorts and embarrassing myself in front of my therapist as she sits there and helplessly tries not to laugh. And I'm just kind of taken back, because I'm stoked that this is happening, that I can still, my guy still works. But that didn't help the situation, because I made her feel super awkward, and it's nothing connected in my mind and my pecker anymore. I don't get any erection because I'm thinking, oh yeah, she's smoking hot. This is such a hot moment. It just happens based off of bodily reflexes and blood flow, and so that results in random boners throughout the life. To end this story, she helps me get all the way in my chair. My dad was sitting behind me, and he's laughing his ass off, just rolling, not even trying to help the situation. He's just laughing because it's so wild, and it was just for me, it was like a proud moment, but an embarrassing moment, because I felt terrible for my therapist, and I was hoping that maybe she didn't even notice, though it was hard not to notice. And so I got in my chair. She left the room and just said, "Okay, we'll catch you later. Bye bye." And I'm just left in the room laughing, and I thought it was dead there, but it wasn't. So later during the day, another therapist of mine, and we're talking, and I thought things were fine, and then she looks at me and she goes, "Veronica told me what happened." And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, what are y'all doing? Did you guys just sit around in a room and laugh about it? You know, like, what? Why are you coming to tell me this now? And I was just like, oh my God, it was not what I wanted to hear, because I kind of knew, of course, she's gonna laugh about it, but I didn't expect Adele to come back to the room and bring it up to me. And then she lets me know so kindly that it's just a normal function coming back. It doesn't mean that you were aroused or anything. It's just how did she put it? It's a reflex. It's just a reflex of the human body, and that's your body's getting back used to. Your body's getting used to learning how to work without connectivity to your brain because I severed my spinal cord. And that was just a cherry on the cake, I would say, to the brief life and to phase 2, because I knew that I was getting out and could take care of my bowel situation as well as my bladder. I had a great group of friends that I had met there. Came out pretty positive and pretty set forward to take on life independently and to see what the kind of things I would get into and actually do as a quadriplegic that's going to be living in society. And so that's where I'm gonna leave this one off. So this will be episode 4. The original intent that I wanted to go into doing these video blogs was to vent and to just get off of my chest things that are happening in the regular day-to-day life of living paralyzed. So from here on out, they're gonna be random. I've got some that I've already kind of taped, but I didn't quite put them on the web yet. But for now, this is where I'm gonna leave off episode 4. Sorry again for taking so long. Thanks for all the nice comments that everyone left me, asking me if I was alright. I'm alright, I'm alive. But thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Yeah, I will catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.